Hello everyone, Bohrok-Kal here, and today we're going to review some computer models from 2003, the Bohrok-Kal Kaita. So some Kaita models, of course two of them in the same video, and the first one we're going to review is the Bohrok-Kal Kaita Ja. So, yes, Ja, also excuse me. So, here it is, excuse me, right here. Just adjust the cam, and here we go. So I'm just going to turn around of the set, I think, and I will explain how it works later. So just after this, so you can see clearly an interesting shape. So yeah, these Kaita are not really that large, tall titans, like for example the older Toa Olda or Toa Kaita, for example, or the other Bohrok-Kaita. There is not really tall titans and stuff like that. They are more than the they are kind of different, in fact. So how it works, in fact, it's kind of hard to explain clearly how this stuff works, but in fact, you have first a Bohrok body right here, so you can see with the same gears put on the same ways. It's linked in fact to another Bohrok body part, and the two one are linked with this gear part and also the elastic, which is kind of a drawback because sometimes it keeps, for example, going in the it keeps going on like that forward. So it's really a problem. So yeah, it's kind of strange, and I don't really know how I'm supposed to put this stuff. Maybe like that or like this. So I don't really know. So of course, yes, you have some little gimmicks, but as you can clearly see, you can put this like that, but you can't put this in its original form, or you have really to press hard, and as you can see, it kind of broke. So yes, that fails. So yeah, it's kind of really a drawback for me on this point, but still I'm gonna keep on. So then you have this body section part, which is made like that with two Bohrok body parts. Okay. Then you have this the legs part, which is kind of nice because it's used the top face part and some Bohrok head section piece right here with the corner holder, so it kind of work pretty well if you ask me. Then you have the arms, which are in fact linked. Yes, in fact, yes, you're gonna have to add these two connectors right here first. Then you're gonna add some axle right here to link this to the arms with shoulder made with legs, feet. It's really annoying. This stuff is really annoying. Then you have the arms, which are in fact pretty simple. And then you have the head, which you also link on the same axle right here. And the head is in fact pretty nicely done. You can also notice the elastic, which be useful to hold the head on this position and not make him go all the way. So it's worked pretty well. The head is made with some head part right here, the black one, famous black one. Then you got some eyes and some little teeth right here. So the head is pretty nicely designed. And if you want my opinion on this set, I think that the overall design is really nicely done. Yes, the legs are quite a problem because it's you don't really know how to pose him. Yeah, maybe like that. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm gonna just let it like that. So yeah, I think the overall design is really a successful one, if I can say so, because it's all about the circled and curved shape, and it's really work well. For example, if you look on the side, you got these parts which are kind of curved. The arms right here are made with some spheric surface right there with the shield, annoying stuff. And the same goes for the head, because you can clearly see it goes in some round shape right here. So yeah, in fact, I really like how this curved and round shaped. It's really worked pretty well on this one, if you ask me, and that's why I kind of like this one, especially for his original design, overall design, which worked pretty good. Of course, you have these gimmicks and the articulations. They are just 2 ball joints per arms and legs, but because of this part, it kind of blocks. So yeah, you can't really move this at all. In fact, just do some pose, like for example that. And of course, this Kaita is in the official storyline. It also appears in a fight against the Toa Nuva Kaita. I think, at least. So you can see you can clearly do some interesting poses. So in fact, the only drawback I have with this set is this stuff, because when you do it, there is so much strength in this gimmick that it's making falling down like that, and it really look like crap, if I can say so. So excuse me for the bad word, but still, it's just annoying if you ask me. So apart from this annoying details, which is kind of kind of a problem, I think that the overall design of this Bohrok-Kal Kaita is nicely done. And that's all. So we're gonna move on and talk about the ZA combiner right now, the ZA Kaita, which is this one. So as you can see, it's completely different from the other one. So how it works, in fact, this one is pretty simple because we're gonna use the wet Bohrok-Kal, so Bohrok-Kal, the same body frame, exactly the same one. For the legs, we're just gonna add this parts, which are just some reverse fit with some other special fit right here, with some more parts, in fact, to pose him in a better way, because you can see the arms are quite big. But the arms, in fact, are also quite simple, because look like that. If you look clearly, it's just a Bohrok body with some, and the head section is modified, is another one to punch this part right here. So this means that, of course, you have some gimmicks to punch, to make punch the fingers punch. The fingers, excuse me, not the hands, in fact, the hands punch. And that's quite all, in fact, because there is nothing really to talk about. So, of course, it's kind of articulated, so you can still do some interesting pose with the two armed, with the two Bohrok arms, excuse me. Like that. So yeah, but apart from that, in fact, this is the type of construction which is not really the building, which is not really entertaining or interesting, because you do not really learn anything when building this Kaita, and this is not the case, for example, with the other one, with, for example, got really an interesting head. This one, in fact, is just some Bohrok parts, Bohrok body parts put together. But still, the overall design is quite interesting, and also, even if it's not really that original at all, it still works pretty well, and it's totally different from the other one. So, okay, so it's quite cool. Of course, yes, you have some asymmetrical parts right here, for example, with a longer axle than on this side, because there is no there were no more axle of 3 in this 3 Bohrok set. Of course, this one is made with the green, black, and red Bohrok-Kal, and the other one was made with the blue, green, brown, black, and red, and the other one is made with the blue, white, and green. Yes, excuse me. And what I said, yeah. So yeah, you have some asymmetrical stuff like that, but it's not as a problem as it was with the first Bohrok Kaita. Remember, the first Bohrok Kaita, it was really awful because there was really tons of too long axle. In fact, there was really, longer axle in comparison to what was really needed. For example, if you need an axle of 3, they were forced to put an axle of 6. So that's really there was really a problem. It really looks bad on the other design, but this time they really have done a better job on this stuff. And you can clearly see that also. In fact, even if they are exactly the same parts as the first Bohrok, they really do a totally different job on this two Bohrok-Kal Kaita. So I think that's quite all for these two ones. So, and if you just do a little sum up. So I think these two guys are pretty interesting Kaita, if you ask me. So I really like this one because it's really got an interesting design, really on all curves, all in curves and stuff like that, circle shape, and it's really look nice. It's not as blocky or as bulky as the other one, so it's really an interesting. It's really an interesting combination. In fact, also the head is quite interesting, and you will maybe learn something when building it. So yeah, really interesting stuff. The only problem, in fact, is maybe the articulation, but that's just minor problems for me when I build the combiner from this edge, from this here. But yeah, the only problem is this elastic stuff, which is really bad. So of course, if you don't put the elastic, it will keep falling off in front. But I do not know. It still looks weird for me. So yeah, just this drawback on this Kaita. The other one is less original, if you ask me. It uses more of the original parts. So for example, you're gonna just use some normal body part without any modification at all. The legs are pretty simple also, but apart from that, it's still original because it's different from this one, and the gimmicks work pretty well, so you can still have some fun. So yeah, I really like these two ones. They are pretty interesting, totally different one from each other. I especially advise you to build this one and maybe try to mod it, for example, to just change this this part, which is kind of annoying. And yeah, that's quite alright. And of course, you can also try to build this one, but I think the build is less entertaining on this one, even if the overall design, in fact, with the two big the two big arms is quite interesting, in fact. But apart from that, not really much to tell on this one. So try to build this one. And if you have any question or comments on this Kaita I have, for example, not mentioned in this review, just ask them, excuse me. So that's all for this one, guys. Hope you enjoy it, and see you later for another Bionicle video review. Bye bye.